2 minutes, I'll try to finish it. And I think I'll be the presenter with the least number of slides. So that will be more interesting for you as well. And then I will also try to not repeat what others say. So that is my motive for today. So let's go. Okay. I mean, I'm a journalist, so I'm going to be, trying to aware you in some ways that you guys all are. You know that climate change is happening. You're doing a lot of work on it. So my intention is not to help you to understand climate change, but basically, what I thought from this 2 days workshop was the objective was to grab the attention of people. That is what this major objective was. How to grab. Here's a big question, and it depends on how you grab the attention. There are a lot of ways to grab attention. But what I think is, it is a $1 million question to grab attention. So that is a kind of a cartoon that illustrates how hard it is to grab the attention of people. May I give you 10 seconds to read this cartoon? So are we done? Yeah, I mean, this is what the situation is. I mean, in South Asia, we are very wise to give advice to people. We can give a lot of advice to people, and we are very wise on it. So you say like, oh, I'm from Delhi, I have like 47 degrees in Delhi, and I came to Kathmandu, it's quite cold. I'm suffering from common cold. And then if you just say this, then you will get 45 comments from this floor on what to do. Somebody will say, okay, let's there is decode. Take decode. And somebody will say, no, decode is so bad. So yeah, it's bad for health. Do Rhinex. It does fantastic thing. And if somebody has a very nice, experience of having rum, then you will say, okay, just buy rum, just boil water, and put some honey, get a rum punch, that will be fantastic. So take 5 packs of rum punch, and that will be fantastic. So we are very nice people to give advice, but we don't do work. That is our problem. So the time is running out, and we all are trying to see like how to grab people's attention. And then somebody said, tweet your junk. That's a nice idea to do that. But it doesn't work actually in some ways, or any other part of the world. We are as ignorant as the Republicans in America. Believe me. On climate change, we are as ignorant as Republicans in America on climate change. But our ignorance is very different. So the media in itself in South Asia is also a part of that ignorance. And we feel that ignorance is strength. And that is how it works in South Asia. There are a lot of experienced people in media, they will elaborate more on how it works. I'm making your work harder, Joanne, actually. But I mean, that is what we live in. So what I think is, as a person, as a journalist, what I feel is we have been trying since yesterday to grab the attention of people defined by George Orwell. So the people defined by Orwell are different. All are equal, but some are more equal. So we are trying to grab the attention of people who are with the bodyguards, all these things, ministers, prime ministers, Narendra Modi, Nepal Soli, all these people. It's harder to grab their attention than yours. So it is a hard job. That's why I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I'll put you in second slide. Okay. So we think that everybody knows climate change. If you are in this hall, you have done a lot of research, you know a lot of things about climate change. But if you go to the field, what people think, as a journalist, I have traveled a lot. And this is the general perception of people. The people think this way. Look, there was a cabinet meeting in 2009. I was in San Jose, Mount Everest base camp. A lot of prime minister, and all people were there. And there was a meeting, base camp meeting. So we went there, and there was a guy near to me. He was Sherpa. And he said that everybody comes to me and say, I will die if there's a drought. I know it. Why do you come to me and say that I'll die if there's a drought? The prime minister comes, the minister comes, the researcher comes, everybody comes to me and say, you will die if there's a drought. What's the meaning of that? Why do you tell me I will die? I know it. If there's a blood, there's a lot, the outburst flood, yeah, but I'll die. You are here to give the solutions. You do all this, I mean, you people do drama every time. And I realize, in some way, yes, we are doing something wrong with it. Because people don't understand, or we don't make them understand. So, everybody talks about it this year, nobody has done anything. For 20 years, we have been talking about this. Nobody's doing anything to share my life or something. That's what the feeling of the people is, and the grant. And you have been traveling a lot. Definitely, you have also thought about it. So that is what the people think about in substance. So too much emphasis media was on pointing out fingers towards problems. Glaciers will melt. There will be flood. People will die. There will be landslide. There will be a lot of things. Everything. I mean, most often, 90% of things that we talk about climate change, we have communicated all negative things. That will only create fear. Just fear. So that is what the problem is. And you generate something, and I write something about your research or your works or something. So that is what the real situation is, and media is a part of it. That's what. Okay, then we fight every time. There are scientists and journalists that fight each other every time, in every table. It's America or Europe or Asia or anywhere they fight. What we think is we are doing a wonderful job. And what you guys think, or the scientists, or the people who are working in the water sector, they think that we are not doing well. So we fight a lot. So what I think is, there is a problem, that's when we fight. So I was looking over this research paper on adaptation about, that was published by ISEC International and ISEC Nepal. I don't think Ajay is here. I don't want to defend it. I mean, I don't want to offend anyone, but I was reading this report, and I found a kind of interesting summary of the climate change scenario in South Asia. And there's a table. So allow me to read the first sentences of each column. There is a parameter for temperature, and then the first is India, and I'll just read the first sentence, which says, India is warming at the rate of 0.48 degrees Celsius over the last 100 years. That's the first sentence about India. To fly to Nepal in Himalayas. And then there's average temperature in Nepal is increasing at the rate of 0.06 per year. Then fly to Karakoram in Pakistan. And the first sentence is, there is a 3 to 5 degree overall increase in temperature over the next century. And then fly to Bangladesh. The first sentence is, geographically, part of the large South Asian landmass, the projection of warming rate for Bangladesh would be similar to that of India. Okay, one data is past 1 century. One is this year, average year, and next is next 100 years, and the next is equal to India, for example. Now I'm a journalist and I have to write news about Saudi. So that is the problem. Now we don't have a kind of a regular system to feed information, and a kind of consistent information, and that will make people to misunderstand all of this. That is where we fight. And I think now onwards, in South Asia, there is a point to work together if we want. If we really want to better inform people, we need to have a kind of consistent system that flows data or information to the people. So what I think is, that is the problem that lies in the region, and we can, together with journalists and media or scientists, we can start off saying. So science is complex. The people who work in science, they are complex people. Scientists are complex. So we extract the complex information of science from the scientists who are complex and send it to the people via media. So we should be more complex than them. Because we all segregate information, we just put down all the information and get it to the people. Now take this whole chain of complexity on sharing the information. So news is not just only about 800 words piece or 500 words piece, or that's just a video or audio. It is a kind of very huge system that brings news. So I mean, I wanted to just let you know that it is a very complex system where the information flows. So we should be able to understand what the real issues are in South Asia. So that is an example of how we are fighting or facing problems on getting information and disseminating information towards the general people. Just next slide. And then everywhere, I mean, not in Nepal only, or in India, or in Sri Lanka, or Bangladesh, or anywhere, there is a very kind of a debate about the climate science. Somewhere, some says like, it's bad, it's not happening, and somebody else saying, oh, there was a leaked email and all those things happen, so it's a bad science, you can't do it. But there's a fundamental difference between school science and the research science. So school science is a fact of solving things. The value of Z is 9.8. It is done. So you don't have to argue on it. But research science is quite different. So a good research or good science would always have the space for question. That's why you do research. So there is a kind of very huge differences between the school science and climate science. But we have been talking a lot about the research science, and we are trying to pull people in some way. So I will give you one example to you. In 2011, there was a commission formed by BBC because one of the viewer, he complained to the BBC saying, you are doing injustice to the news in BBC because you are trying to balance the news. So when you just take a bite of a person who says climate change is happening, and then you try to go to another person and say, and get a bite saying it is not happening, because that is the way to balance the news. But if 97% of the scientists in the world are saying that climate change is happening, why do you need to get a bite of a person who represents 3% and make a news balance? So he complained, and then they formed a commission, and they did a research, and they found that BBC is biased on airing all the news in BBC. So what they said was, from 2011 onwards, you don't need to take a bite of person saying climate change is not happening if you do a news on climate change. So if 97% of people have already agreed, it is agreed almost. So that is not necessary to make a news balance. So this is the way that we are fighting on climate science and all those things. So next slide, please. So you people think, or other people, everybody thinks that their work is so harder. But what I think is, news production is as much complex as data production. We should understand that. If you read a kind of a newspaper of 18 pages, it has everything, from cars to planes, to the health to medicine, everything. There is a complex package of things that comes into your house. So if you see this kind of a kind of norms that forms in news is, if you see this kind of a structure, then you can just realize how complex the news system is. So news means there are issues, events, information, then you get a news, you go and personalize things, dramatize it, put a novelty, and then balance it and produce it and get to your home. It's a very complex structure of news. So I want to say that news production is as much as complex as data production. So as a person who doesn't work in newsrooms, you should also understand that news is a very dynamic thing. Newsrooms are very dynamic, and there are some more complexities in between, and you should understand that it is also a process. Right? So, so what I'm thinking is, now there is an opportunity, as Dr. Pandey yesterday said, how do you build a bridge? So building a bridge means making things easier, isn't it? But in the last 30 years, I don't think we made our life easier in South Asia. I'll give an example to you how we cooperate in South Asia. So I was doing a kind of story about Kosi Basin, and I went all the way from Nepal, China border to Nepal, India border, and then I found that the people are surveying the high Kosi Dam in Nepal, India border. And when I came back to Kathmandu and I started doing a review, I found that British had done the survey of the Kosi High Dam in 1946. So we have been surveying high dam in Kosi for 70 years. This is how we work on transboundary cooperation. And I was talking to Sahil Hussain Saab, who came from Karachi yesterday, and he said that it took 30 hours for him to travel from Karachi to somewhere else to Kathmandu. You can reach from Kathmandu to Istanbul to Amsterdam in 30 hours now. That is how the cooperation thing is. So if you are building a thing, the first thing is you should understand what people do. That is the most important thing. And climate change can be an opportunity to work together, to demystify myths in South Asia. So we tried a lot. We tried security. We tried rivers. It didn't work. So if we really want to build a bridge, then climate change can be a bridge to make South Asia a kind of continent like Europe or somewhere else. Next. So I mean, we are in the age of digitalization. So we are the people who are the generation. I mean, Joydeep has been doing journalism for like 30, 40 years, and then we are the people who just got emails from the day first. And they were not the guys who did it. So we are the people who have a lot of opportunity to collaborate, coordinate. I know a lot of journalists in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka. What do we do with them? What is the meaning of knowing each other? So in Earth Journalism Network, what we thought of, if we want to do some big stories and good stories, there is an opportunity called network journalism. If I know Sahil Hussain Saab from Karachi, I can just talk to him, or in Maldives, or in Sri Lanka. That will help us to understand more. Because I don't know, but even we people, the journalists are so much preoccupied in this region. So even we try to, twist the fact in some ways because we have a kind of a bilateral listen or something else. So what we used to do in the past was we educate in the university, go to newsroom, do news, come back and forth. Now we go to university, we do news, we know a lot of people who have a network, we use that network to do story, and also we do a lot of the new things like the geojournalism, we call it, like new maps and all those things. So journalism has changed the breed from traditional ways. And it is a challenge for people to communicate and coordinate. So what I think is journalism and communication in mass media or media in South Asia can do a fantastic job through a network, and network journalism can work very well. And that is the new dimension in climate change communication in South Asia. I think that would be one of the bridges to make people more closer. Next one. So I'm not going to talk about a lot of things like what you can do in South Asia, what is adaptation and all those things. But what I think is, for example, there's a lowering hydrocarbon prices versus increasing clean energy investment in the world. That is the most important thing for us. Money is coming to South Asia, or we are trying to get more money, or we are investing more money. For example, if you see the data, 62 billion out of 270 billion invested on clean energy flowed to developing countries in 2015. So 65 billion rupees dollar was invested in this region, or it flowed to the region, which means there is a huge opportunity for the people or this community to make their lives easier. So there is an opportunity that's coming up. So as a media, as a person, as the community of the journalists, I think we have to track all those new coming things and make life easier. So next one, please. So what to do beyond traditional? I've been traveling a lot. I was in Copenhagen. I started, going to negotiations since 2009, and I've been to like 6, 7 stops since then. So what is the most important thing I learned was we were too much oriented towards the problems. So if we really want to bridge the gap, there is a point for solution journalism, and we should move towards solutions. So that would be more important for us, rather than just identifying problems and problems. So that is the most important thing. And the second important thing is, as a person, I don't know, I'm wrong or right, but I feel that we know much about Europe, we know much about California, we know much about Alaska, we know much more about New York, we know much more about South Africa, but we don't know much about Bangladesh or Pakistan or Maldives, because we don't intend to learn more about our regions, because we are fascinated by other things. So I think as a journalist, as a person, as a people in this region, we should be understanding more towards ourselves, our problems. And the third is, we do have individual mistrust among us. If there's a flood in Kosi, then Indian journalists start writing saying, Nepal is our life. And we start saying, no, 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 no. All Indians are building all these dams, and they are flooding us. So we tell Indians are flooding. The reality is, all the rivers flow from north to south. You are not, I mean, you are not the person who can just control it. So there is a huge misunderstanding between persons, people, and we communicate that those mistrust among ourselves, and we are always creating havoc rather than creating solutions. So I think that is the point where we should start talking about. And then we should be a catalyst for optimism, definitely. That's true. And we should be the messenger for many people. And we can be the bridge between the scientists and communities if we want. So, I mean, these are the points that we can do, and people have been talking about a lot. We have been doing a lot of trans-family cooperation for years. Hopefully, we'll do a lot more in the future. But one point that could bridge South Asia, as climate change, is all our suffering, and we are all our synchronism. Next slide, please. Thank you. So if we can do something, that's only one point there. If we can just avoid these kind of recordings, I'll just read it. Once again, there is no conclusive evidence of climate change from Fairbanks, Alaska. This is Joe Matthews reporting. This is the false reporting that we do always. So if we just remove this part of the reporting in our reporting system in South Asia, I think we'll be more happier. And we'll be having more people in better way. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm available in Twitter at Ramesh South. And Third.net is South Asian platform where we work and write. And Earth Jones Network is the network of 8,000 zones of the world. And I am joining in South Asia for them. Thank you very much.
So, may I call upon Mr. Olive Casey from Ministry of Population and Environment, Nepal Climate Change Support Program. So he is going to talk about building climate resilience, sustainable financing mechanisms for climate change adaptation, implications of new agreement, and the NCCSC program.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you for this opportunity to present about the Nepal Climate Change Support Program, because this is a program that we have been getting since yesterday, because it is the only major program led by government of Nepal in the area of adaptation activities in the past. So this program has been going on for the last 3 years, and it is led by Ministry of Population and Environment in collaboration with Ministry of Local Development. And of course, this project is funded by EU and DFID, and the technical support is provided by United Nations Development Program. The overall goal of this program is to ensure that the most vulnerable people and the poorest people living in the far-flung areas of the country are able to adapt to the climate change that we are facing today. And when doing that, we have basically we have covered 19 villages and 7 municipalities in Nepal. The project areas in the very, very different areas of the country, and we have responded to your study about 5 minutes, which will be showing you after this presentation. One of the major guiding principles of this project is that the most disadvantaged groups and women do have a fair say in the decision-making process, and also because they are disproportionately affected by climate change, we take full consideration of their needs. And also, the whole part of good governance and sustainability is also there. So basically, these are the guiding principles. And when we started this project, first of all, what we did was to map out the vulnerable area. Basically, we identify households. Each household is categorized based on their vulnerability. And also then, after that, we started targeting our program there. And in doing that, we are also building the capacity at the district and village level. Basically, these are the enabling institutions at the district and village level that help to implement the project. So we are working on both fronts. At the community level, we are helping the community to adapt to climate change, and also building the sustainable institution at the district level. And from our project, I think we are in the third year of the program, and about like we have been able to reach more than 500,000 people in our program area. And 2/3 of them from diabetes of the most vulnerable and highly vulnerable people. And there is a larger women participation in the program, not only as a participant, but also in their role as a decision-making institution. And some of the important lessons that we have learned from this project is that we have designed the project like any other project, one project to cover whole project area in the business harvesting area. Basically, the problem with that, like, if you adopt a one-size-fits-all kind of approach, it was not going to help us. This is one major learning that we have to show, because our project is also in Karnataka region, which is completely different, because the working window is just 4 months. People migrate in such of, like, collecting the idle house, and also they come down, during the very winter season. And even the working population is not there. So we have actually 3 to 4 months to implement our project in this area. And also, like, for example, the project has sort of fixed target, fixed action, and that is also a major constraint we have found. Right now, in the Bajra district, now the people's need is protection of water source. Because if we have to shift the focus of our program in the current design, I think that is a problem. So basically, the program itself has to be flexible enough to address the changing needs of the community people. This is what we have found as a patient. And second important thing, like, with the media, basically what we have found, it's not always, something like, media write negative thing about the project. Basically, we have introduced some kind of, like, we have created a bridge for the media, and a couple of pieces what we have done, like, we have taken them to a monitoring meeting, where they can see and provide very much independent perspective on our project. Because some of the times we are colorblind, we don't know what problem is there. So when we have a journalist, they will try to find out, like, the other way of looking at the thing. And also it helps to promote the visibility of our program. Basically, in two districts, we are very, very